Alright, so I wanted to do a video here for some time, just showing basic differences between a 379, a 359, or a 389, and how to spot one going down the road. Most guys have a fairly good idea, but if not, I just thought it'd be fun to point out a lot of differences. So this is a short hood 359. It's a 1985. Start off with fairly obvious things. The headlights, although you do see 379s with round headlights aftermarket, they do have a different mounting bracket. A 379's lights mount higher up the grille shroud here, so the bracket comes from here to down underneath the light, whereas a 359 light, the bracket is below the headlights. Tow hooks. A 359 has two obvious tow hooks here on either side. A 379 will have a tow hook underneath the license plate holder. The hood is quite a bit different. For starters, they have this marker light on the front corner, typically a turn signal on the fender. The difference between a short hood and a long hood on a 359, the hood height stays the same. The difference is after this rivet line, they add 8 inches of hood before it gets to the slanted cut for the external pipe on the air cleaners. This is a very big giveaway of a 359, the external air cleaner pipes, although some people have tried to make clones, and that is the first thing they do, is that, because it's about the easiest thing. Another one is the wipers up on the center pillar, like a Kenworth would be. The wipers go up to the center pillar. There's also a lot smaller. This rivet line is also a lot different. Instead of there being a small seam along here, actually bumps out where the rivet line goes to cover this bottom panel. The step boxes are a lot smaller. The step isn't as deep, and it's also shorter. The fuel tanks, a lot of 359s came with 29-inch diameter fuel tanks, which are significantly bigger than 379. Also, on a 63-inch flat top sleeper, a 359 will have a full-size man door on the front side of the bunk, like that. I'm not going to get into the interiors, because if you're close enough to see the interior on a truck, you're probably close enough to see the exterior. Alright, now we'll go look at a 379. Alright, this is the typical 379 headlight. 359s did come with square headlights sometimes, but they were a very different square headlight than this one. They did not have a turn signal here, and they mounted on a pedestal from between the lights over to the grille shroud. The bumper, you can see the tow hook is right there. Now if you look at the seam in the grille, this is actually flat, and it just has a small seam right here. So instead of it overlapping on the outside, it overlaps on the inside. There's no marker light on the fender or turn signal. The hood, you do not have an external pipe like a 359. The wipers are at the bottom of the windshield, and this piece is considerably longer. Battery box is much bigger. It's a lot taller. The steps are much deeper, and it bumps up here for the top of this step. On this one, the mirrors are still on the doors. They did that up until 2005, so this door pretty much has not changed since 1973, apart from the interior. Now you could get a 359 with a stand-up sleeper in 86 and 87, I believe, but you'll see on this one there's only a small door here. On a 359 stand-up sleeper, this would be a full height man door at the back of the bunk, so the same place, just a taller door. The cab is also much wider on a 379. Now if you can see the center line on the hood, On the 359, it is very big, very wide, and it is ribbed. On a 379 or a 389, it is a single peak, much more narrow center of the hood. 359s do have a more stable hood. Sometimes you might catch your hood bouncing a wee bit on 379 or 389, but the wider center of the hood on 359 adds a lot of reinforcement. Another thing is a 379 hood is not flat. It drops from the cab slightly, and on a short hood 379 it drops from the cab quite a bit. They have a whole new grille. A 359 short hood long hood grille is the same. A 379 short hood grille is noticeably shorter. Now pay attention to this part of the hood here. The line between the cab and the hood is a straight line right down. Now that is an easy way to tell it apart from a 389. The other thing is the grille on a shroud on a 389 is very rounded, and I'll show you. If you notice, the corners are almost square on a 379 and a 359 grille. Also, the emblem that they put on the top of the hoods was completely redesigned. I will show you pictures of that. A 389 will have mirrors on the cab, but so will a Peterbilt 379 from 2005 to 2007 when they quit making them. This style of a door latch lasted until 2004. A 2005 is very easy to pick out from the doors. They will have a flat sill, which in 2006 the sill drops so till it comes down to about here and runs on an angle. A 2005 379 will have mirrors on the cab but still have a flat sill because it has the old style interior, and it will have the new style door latches. It's a one-off thing. A 2005 is a very unique 379. Alright, now there are more differences than what I've pointed out, but I think that should be a fairly good guide to go by. What to look for if you think, hey, that's a 379 or that's a 359. What do you look for? Recap. External air cleaners, windshield wipers at the top, and this one's tricky, but tow hooks. Now, guys have put 359 cabs on 379 or 389 chassis. If it does not have the tow hooks, it's probably built on a 379 or 389 chassis. Now, a 389 does not have the tow hook in the center of the bumper like a 379. A 389 will have two small squares here that you put a tube in like a hitch receiver to get your tow hook. Each bumper on a 359, 379, 389 is quite a bit different. Also, 389s had different headlights, but with the amount of guys that put round ones on or different headlights, easiest way to pick out a 389 is the grille shroud. It is very different. Alright, I will have included some pictures in here and pictures of 389s to show you the differences that I'm talking about. I had made a video before about this, but it was half an hour long and I was using a lot of pictures and explaining a lot of things, and after a while I decided it's not worth going into that much detail. Just a quick spotter's guide would be better, so that is what this is. Thanks for watching.